Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Dr. Kenton Wakes Up. That's the name of the channel, but it's not true today. I've been awake for more than 6 hours. It's afternoon. In the cup today is Peet's Major Dickason blend with Coffeemate. 18 grams, 9 out of 12 on the grinder. Melitta #2 filter. Delicious. Delicious. So much better. Today's Friday. Friday the 28th, the ultimate day. I missed my chance yesterday to say the penultimate day. And then on the 26th, I missed my chance to say the anti-penultimate day. I want to apologize to my 11th grade English teacher, Rose Duty. Sorry, Mrs. Duty. I blew it. But today's the ultimate day, and it's a Friday. Um, yeah, so this morning I got up early, drove to Towson for a 9 a.m. meeting on campus. Uh, Nothing particularly out of the ordinary about any of it. The meeting is for a committee that I serve on. Of course, that's why I'm there. Um, we hear it's usually, I don't know, about every other meeting, two of the people in the room get into some sort of, I'll call it, a snit. I'll put the definition of snit below, but it's just a ridiculous argument about nothing. But it means a whole hell of a lot to the people engaged in it. Today, two people were arguing about the impact and the premise underlying a a $10 fee being encumbered upon a class which will probably average 7 students each time it's taught. So one side is saying, well, the college should be able to swallow a $70 charge for equipment. Equipment should come from a blah, 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 and a this and that. And the other person says, but the form that they use to fill out this request on, bullet number 1 says that you're allowed to ask for what they're asking for in this process. So, it's this is the it pays to be an observer in such a thing and not to be a participant. As you can see, maybe you can see right there by my thumb, this mug has previously been broken. And the other break point is, I think it's right down here, right there on that seam. And I lovingly glued it back together because, the bell lock used to occupy, what would that be? The northeast corner of Joppa and Lock Raven Boulevard in the neighborhood not too far from where I used to live. And it's closed now. It's 3 businesses old on that location now. I think the current business is I think it's a Mongolian Grill or something. Previous to that was a Starbucks. Prior to the Starbucks occupying the territory, the ground, They knocked down the Belloc. So the building that's there, it's not the original building. Unfortunately, it was beautiful. Beautiful in its roadside dinerness. Well, anyway, that was, God, how long ago was that? Let's probably have answered this before. Something like 2015, 2016. I've been married since 2015. Yeah, I think it's got to be around there. 2015, 2016. Plus or minus 1 year. Um, so anyway, that was as I'm just freeform reminiscing. When I first moved to that neighborhood in 2003, can you imagine how long ago that is? Uh, I uh, my then wife and her sister and brother-in-law were with me. It was me, my wife, my then wife, her sister, so my sister-in-law, and her my sister-in-law's husband. So yeah, you got the idea. They were visiting from Texas, and as we were pulling our car out of our parking spot, I pulled out, backed up as far as I needed to, and shifted into drive. No, it would have been into first gear because it was stick. Um, the A gentleman stood in front of my vehicle holding up a Ziploc bag with many, many different types of loose pills. He didn't say anything, no words. I also did not draw any attention to him. I didn't roll my window down and yell at him. I didn't honk my horn. I just decided I probably need to back completely out of the parking lot to get away from this guy. So that's what I did. Fast forward 20, 21 years, and there's a funeral home about 2 blocks south of the Belloc on Lock Raven Boulevard. Um, the place I'd only ever engaged anybody in that business one time in conversation. That was uh, when my current wife's dad, who was living with us, passed away, and we needed to secure a, what's the right word? Not undertaker. A, what is that? There's a word for the person who performs uh, cremation or embalming and burial services. I'll just say with undertaker because it's what's coming to mind. Um, there there was something screwed up about that, and then I learned that my 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 now wife's brother had decided that he was gonna take care of everything so that we didn't have to worry about it and engage somebody else's services, which at the time I appreciated, but it meant that I only ever had one conversation with anybody involved with that funeral home, and it was turned out to come to nothing. Well, anyway, the reason why I bring it up is related to Belloc and a surge of criminality, which apparently spelled the end of Starbucks, uh, was that after a funeral, not too long ago, several weeks ago, a couple months ago, there was a situation where it's a big. If I said the word Chevy Suburban, that covers a certain type of SUV, a very large SUV that can hold 10, 12 people. Well, one of those had gotten shot up after a funeral and wound up overturned in front of the funeral home and I think catching on fire. I don't believe, well, I don't know. Details, I don't pay as close attention to what happens in my old neighborhood, but it was pretty bad. I mean, I remember now with more particularity. The event happened on the same night as the College of Education's commencement reception. So, sometime like in somewhere in the week between the 15th and the 22nd of December in 2024. Well, that's how my memory works. You got to remember things and then remember things that are related to that thing and then remember how it was that you became aware of it and then the rest of it falls together. Um, at the time, it seemed like several people had gotten shot. I don't know how many of them died, if any, but you know, that would have been was probably if you stretched a line directly from my old house to the front door, it would have been something like a quarter mile. So the funeral home was if you extended a road called Miami across Loch Raven Boulevard, and it does not cross Loch Raven Boulevard, I think that you would intersect with this funeral home. Let me poke it into maps here. This is getting to be an extended version of an extended check-in. Let's do Bell Lock Diner in the search window, and then we'll scroll southward. Bell Lock Diner. All right, so what's it gonna show me? Well, we got pretty close. It wants to. All right. So I'm looking. No, that's all right. That's Paring Parkway, not Loch Raven Boulevard. There's Loch Raven Boulevard. Windy old cuss. All right, Loch Raven Boulevard and Joppa. We got that. And I'm suggesting that if you extended Miami across the street, you would hit the funeral home. That's inaccurate. Funeral home is about a block north of that. If you extended Miami all the way across Loch Raven Boulevard, you'd wind up in the church parking lot at Immaculate Heart of Mary. We're talking a couple of blocks north of that. Johnson Fosbrink Funeral and Cremation. The corner of White Oak and Loch Raven Boulevard. In beautiful downtown well, not downtown, in beautiful Towson, Maryland. All right, let's check out what's happening in the map. Hasn't been updated in a long time. That's, yeah. Anyway, it's fine. Well, anyway, this is getting long. Um, Friday is ordinarily day when I would go do some errands. And today is also an opportunity to send a message to the large chains who turn their back on services that tend to benefit those who are less fortunate, that those who are um, need of further protection. And so it's a boycott today. I will not go out of my way to spend money at such a place. And this town I live in is not large enough um, to host a family-owned grocery store. So you have to wait till tomorrow. All right, well that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me on this trip down memory lane. Uh, Remember, Fridays are. Don't forget to check in on your friends. Friday can be a tough day for people. They might just be sliding in. They intended to slide in with their arms in the air, giving a cleat to the person trying to guard the bag. But they might have stumbled and tumbled, and they're coming in sideways, bumped and bruised, scraped, maybe even. Check in, especially these days. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Love you. Bye.